everyone, and welcome to the Lawrence Township Public Schools Community Conversation. I am Dr. Crystal Edwards, Superintendent, and so happy to see so many people here tonight. It's always an exciting night when I can share with you all the wonderful things that we're doing with our students and our staff here in the school district and in the community, and also hear back from you. So tonight we plan on having a special night. There are a couple quick thank yous, and I promise tonight there will be less talking from us and more talking from you and listening. So I will fly through. First, if you didn't have an opportunity, there are a bunch of people lining the windows in the back. They are our community partners back there, and if you didn't get a chance before the evening, please stop by and talk to them. There are some wonderful people in the community who work with our students, our staff, and our population here, and without them, we couldn't do some of the wonderful things that we do. So can we please give them a round of applause just for being here. And there are so many people that are responsible for putting this night together, everything from the beautiful decorations on the table, the sign-in, and just organizing it. So I'd just like to give a hands up to my entire staff because almost everybody had a role, so please thank them for everything that they did. And then finally, this would be real awkward for me if I were standing here by myself and you weren't here. So thank you for actually taking the time to come out and spend the evening with us. That means so much to us that you care so much about the schools that you are here. So thank you for being here as well. So I like to start with just a story because I think stories are pretty exciting, and I'm sure we've all had this story. We all have friends who talk about, well, what is it like to live in Lawrence? Like, how is it? And of course we all say, well, it's great, it's wonderful, you should come, because they're thinking about moving to Lawrence. So I want you to think about this family. They're called the Your family. And the Your family is now meeting with you, and they're wondering, like, is Lawrence the place to be? They have these young kids. They want to move here. They're interested in the district. They've heard some things, and they're real excited. So the Your family is about to do some research on our school district. They're like, should I move to Lawrence? Or should I get an identical house in Community B over there across town? So the Your family is contemplating. And like any good family, the first thing they do is they're like, well, let me go on Zillow, Realtor.com, or Weichert, or any other real estate things to learn more about the community. So they do. And this is what they see. And then they take a moment and they're like this. I thought this was a great community. You say you love it here. But look at this. What do you have to say about Lawrence now? And I thought you had 7 schools. Didn't you have a school, Lawrenceville Elementary? They didn't even make the list. What's going on in Lawrence? And I'm sure you get, like I get, how come your ratings aren't so great? Well, let's talk about that. And let me help you answer that question with the Your family. So let's look real deeply at this data. So the first thing that came up, and some of you actually put this, if you saw me at all the back to school nights, I collected these cards and you told me some of your thoughts. And that was on here. That was on a lot of cards. Like, what about the ratings? What about the ratings? And some people even said, I thought your elementary schools are good. They're not even rated. Why aren't they rated? So I did a little digging into these ratings, and I looked up what greatschools.org says about schools and how they define a great school. And hopefully by the end of tonight, you'll help me tell them what a great school really is about. So let me tell you how they define a great elementary school. A great elementary school is based on 2 factors. Factor number 1 for New Jersey is the growth test scores. So for us, that would be PARC, and you have to have 2 years of growth. Now, our elementary schools are K-3, or pre-K-3. They take the PARC in 3rd grade. That's only 1 year. There's no growth, because they go to the intermediate school for 4th grade. There's no measure. There's no data. So that one's out. So now our elementary schools, because we don't have part in second and third grade, or first, second, and third grade, we can't be rated on our growth scores. So we'll eliminate that. We'll measure you on just one score. Guess what the one score is? How about we use a state standardized test? Well, PARCC is a state test, and that's a growth test. What other state standardized tests do you have at the elementary level? Oh, I know. We have the science test at fourth grade. Well, we don't have fourth grade in our elementary schools. So the best solution is, well, we can't rank you as a grade school because you don't have the two measures as a grade school, so we'll just put you up there as NR, not graded. We won't talk about the good things that happen in your school because that's not part of the rating. So it's something for you to think about the next time someone says, how come your elementary schools aren't rated as grade schools? You can actually say, because there are two ratings, and this is what they're looking at. But now let's go to our middle school with the 5. It's the same two ratings. It's the PARCC score, and it's the fourth grade science test. And if you go to the middle school, it's the same two ratings. It's the PARCC score, and it's the 8th grade science test. And when you get to the high school, they give us a third rating. It's the PARCC score. It's a combination of the science test, the SAT test, AP test, and then it's the graduation requirements. But only students who graduate in 4 years. So if you don't graduate in 4 years, and it doesn't matter if you were a student whose IEP may have said you can graduate in 5, if you didn't do it in 4, you're not a grade school. So our grade schools, according to gradeschools.org, which shows up on everybody's realtor site, looks like this, and it really is just based on test scores. So then I started thinking, and raise your hand when you had your child, the first thing you said is, I want you to grow up and be the best test taker on the planet. Who wanted to have their kid be the best test taker? Because that's what this is saying. And what I want to say to you is we have to offer something different than just what this leaves us with. So let's really talk about what a great school looks like. So I actually had to write some of these down. A lot. Okay. So now when your family says, tell me about the community, what makes it so great? Well, does gradeschools.org know that we have a partnership with Princeton University and that our freshman students actually participate at Princeton University to prepare them for college? Does grade schools know that we have that? I don't think so. Do they know that we have a partnership with Every Child Valued and that we actually have kids in the community who get after-school assistance right in their community, even if they can't stay here after school? Is that a great school? Is that something great that we should be proud of? Because it's not ranked up here. Do they know that Mercer County Community College offers courses here at the high school, and kids can get high school credit and college credit for free? Is that a great school? Is that what we should be proud about here in Lawrence? That our kids have opportunities to take college courses right here for free? It's not ranked. How about our community partnership with Homefront for our students who are less fortunate and the things that we do for those families? No one cares. Not up here. Not a great school. And what about our transition to adulthood, where we're teaching our students how to work and live in this community, how to go to college? Not included. Not a great school. And then we have a very supportive education foundation that gives us about $150,000 a year plus extra things that they do to support programs. Again, who cares? Who cares? We're not going to grade that. That's not a great school. We have other people who are interested. Church of the White, Bristol-Myers Squibb, ETS, community investments. Look at all the people in the back of the room who are sitting here working with our students. Again, wonderful things are happening in Lawrence, which makes this a great school district, but you won't see it in the 5s up there. And let's talk about the school, because that was just the community. This school was named one of the best music communities. That's a great thing, but it's not up there. We have kids that are National Merit Scholars winning awards. It's not included. We have students here who put on science programs for younger students. Not up there. We are a national district of character, 2 national schools of character, all 7 schools are New Jersey schools of character, and we didn't get any points for that either. We have in terms of our staff, we have the 2016 elementary exemplary educators. We have 3 of them here in the district. We have a national New Jersey state teacher here in the district. Our art teachers are renowned artists here in the district. We have teachers who do wonderful things for kids that we don't even know about. There are some teachers and staff members in this district who every Friday make sure children go home with food because they know they may not have it. It's not up there. Those are the things that make a great school. We have tech teachers who are interested in teaching our children, and they may be here, code and launch and initiatives and inquiry and creative thinking and innovation. None of that do we get points for. And let's talk about the kids. Who are these kids at this school that's not a great school? They're kids who do things like Operation Smile. Those are the kids that attend this district. We have students who are helping Honduras. Those are the kids who attend this district. We have an outstanding musical program. Those are the kids. We have winning sports teams, swim team, cheerleading. Those are the kids that attend this district. We have 3rd graders who change the way we do Flag Day. Those are the kids who are in this district. We have kids who are urging us, we need to be better about recycling. Those are the kids who are in this district. We have kids who collect coats, socks, jeans, anything. Those are the kids who are in this district. We have kids who write their own books. They're in this district. We have wonderful children doing outstanding things and also winning wonderful awards. Those are the students that are in this district that make this district a great district. So I caution you, because that was one of the most popular things on my card. And one of the things I said was I was going to address some of the things that people were asking. And that is my answer to that. And while, yes, I love high test scores. I want high test scores. But if you said to me, would you sacrifice everything you just said so that you would have the highest test scores in the state of New Jersey? My answer would be no. I wouldn't sacrifice the caring, empathetic kids that attend this district. I wouldn't sacrifice the teachers who go above and beyond to do what's necessary for kids in this district just for higher test scores. I wouldn't sacrifice my administrators who, again, give everything that they can for this district. I certainly wouldn't sacrifice my community partners who are in this district working with our students and our staff to make this a wonderful place. So I think it's a great school. I think greatschools.org needs to change how they measure and define great schools, and you might see a different number. But I want to help you have that conversation as to what those numbers really mean so that you can feel proud about the district that you are attending, and your students can feel proud about all the wonderful things that we have to offer here. So that was just one of my things that I wanted to address with you tonight, and I wanted to give you multiple reasons to really sit there and reflect on, this is a great school, this is a great community. We are all together doing everything that we need to do for students tonight. So tonight, what you're going to get is a little bit more flavor. Andrew's going to answer a few more of your questions that were on our cards. And we're going to go into breakout rooms and talk about 4 areas. Those were 4 areas that, again, when I went out to community conversations in the community and when we were collecting information, those are things you had questions about. So we do want to have time for that. We also want to have time for you. So this is the start. And I will say, if at the end of the night you're saying, I need more conversation about this, we will have more conversation about this. That's exactly what happened when we were doing the turf project. It started here, but it went on for several months later until we got the turf project. So we are open, we are happy that you are here. You We want you to feel that this is the most wonderful district that you are in. You are in the best place with the best people, with the best children. And we together can do amazing things for our kids. So I thank you for coming here today. Can I tell you that there's a group of parents who actually took this on, and I cannot take credit for all of this, and they have been active in reaching out to greatschools.org. There's also Niche, and there's a couple other ones. This is the most popular one, to talk to them about that. And a lot of you went on and actually wrote wonderful comments on it. So far, I haven't received anything back from them that's changing that. So, and that's okay, because they can put it out. But as educated people who look at information, it really is up to us to look at that and make an informed decision about what a great school really is. I'm a fight the fight, so I'm going to continue it. And if you want to join me, please do.
If people don't reach out to great schools and bring it to their attention, why should they do it? That's important.
Exactly. So what she's saying is other K-3 schools, pre-K-3 schools, have the same concern with being not rated, and even probably the same concerns with only using those measures. So what responsibility do we have as a community to reach out to greatschools.org or Niche or any of the other ones? They keep popping up, I don't know all of them, to really let them know that we think this is unacceptable when you're talking about rating where our children are going and the experiences that they're having. Did I capture it?
Well, not so much that it's unacceptable, just that they would do. We were rated 2 years ago. Growth is a newly added metric, and most states don't use growth. So is it possible to grade K-3 schools on just the part third grade score, and then somewhere when it comes up further, Niche doesn't come up on the real estate service. I mean, it's difficult when you're looking for a house and you're not in the area, you're not talking to someone to choose this.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's to our benefit to try to see great schools and possibly respond to someone from the district, because it was me that was reaching out to them. They're sick of me and they're not going to hear.
Yeah, I'm going to rent you out. And I absolutely agree, but I would also press the issue of, I don't think that they should tell us what a great school is just based on a test score. I think a great school is much more than that. And I think when you look at your children, and a lot of them are here tonight, and one of the things I absolutely love about being in this district is that we have kids who are caring, who are sensitive. We have kids who are resilient, who are they find problems and they solve problems. They're collaborative, they are creative. Those are all measures. I don't know how to put a number on that to make it a great school, but I've been in places where there aren't people like that, and they aren't that way, and it does change the community, it changes the culture of the school. And I'm fortunate that we don't have that. And we also have kids who are interested in a variety of things, from art to music to athletics to sports to service. All of those things make for a great school, and right now there isn't any measure of that's definitive, which is the unfortunate part. And I'm going to still fight that fight with you, but I did promise I wouldn't do all the talking. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and more because it showed up on the cards a lot. A lot of people had questions, and even when I went out to the communities, it was always a question that I was asked. So I felt like, let me do a little research and let me share that with you. Now, you just heard from me, so you can say, oh, she's a superintendent. She gets paid to say that it's a great school. So what I wanted to do was actually bring up people in the community, and not teachers and not administrators, who will talk to you and share their story with you, just to really quickly about what it means to be in this community, to be a parent, to be a business owner, and to work with our kids. So I'm actually going to invite them up. So we have two people. The first one is a parent, Jay Shree, who actually works with our PTO. So I'm going to invite Jay Shree up.
Good evening. My name is Jayashree. I have been a Lawrence resident for the last 20 years. Straight, we came from India to Lawrence and worked our way up. We said, okay, we'll just settle now and see, but as my children went to the school, we went to Ben Franklin, went to Lawrence Intermediate School, middle school, and now we are in high school. I have a junior and I have an 8th grader who's here tonight. I am a proud Lawrence parent. I have to tell you that I am, because I'm very happy with a lot of the programs that we do here. But I'm here to share something with you today. I, as a parent, found that Lawrence School District administrators are very approachable and accessible. I've always gone and met the principals if I had any questions. But I say this also because we had Dr. Edwards, Tom Elridge, and a couple of board members come to our development where I live. I live at Yorkshire Village. We had this small meeting last year and we met again, and it was very helpful. They answered all our questions. Most importantly, they dispelled some rumors which made some of our residents move out of this district. So that was very helpful. And I hope we can continue that, because that's really very helpful when we meet and have conversation. And these meetings have not only answered our questions, but now we have our Yorkshire Village residents right there. We have our own conversation. So we talk about schools and we learn every day something new. So that's important. So I would say take this conversation after tonight, keep it moving, keep having conversation, and really helps. I might have a lot of questions. I still have not got all my questions answered. I have a wish list too. But I always go to them, I ask them, and I try to attend these meetings, and it's really very helpful, especially because I can study here, and that's a big help. Thank you.
Jayashree mentioned that Tom and I, a few board members have gone out to Yorkshire Village, and if you didn't know, I have a new initiative called Conversations in the Community, where I come to you because I can't always expect everybody to come to the school. Not everybody can. So I've gone out to, if you have a community center, I've gone out to those residents to talk to people. So if sometime tonight you're like, hey, we want you to come to our development. I even went to a resident's home, so you have a home, you want to offer it up. And it's me, it's informal, it's not a PowerPoint, I don't have any handouts. I just come to talk to you about your concerns and mostly what you love about our district and how we can be better. So it really is an honest conversation, and I love it because it's so small and intimate. And it's one of those times where you feel comfortable, like it's that small that we can actually get our questions asked and answered. So again, I will be doing that all year long. So if you have a group, an opportunity, a home, you want to go out for burgers, I like food too, I will come out to you, and my staff will come with me if there's certain things that you want to talk about. So we will do that. Our second person is one of our newest business owners here in Lawrence. So I'm going to invite him up. His name is Lawrence Township, and he is going to talk to you a little bit about his business and his office.
President as well, 2 years in the writing and development. My fiance and I, Erica Stubbs, couldn't be here this evening on Solutions World, so I hope you So the key question for us when we decided to invest in the business was we wanted to be a community-oriented business, so we had to figure out what that meant. And that vision started with us having a superior product, really clean environment, and a great service environment where you felt like you were family when you walked in. Well, it started with a lot of local community businesses. We started with partnerships with people like Terrence Leggett, who's a Lawrence High graduate, who runs RU Commercial Services and did the great painting you see inside. People who did the graphics and the photo work for us, Elijah Sabri, who's the son of Lawrence High School art teacher, Khalila Sabri. And we worked with Beth Hendrickson, who did all the printing of our graphics on the wall and the t-shirts. So this kind of reinforces, the power and the talent of the people who are in the district and who have graduated from the district. Now that's kind of interesting, but you're here about your kids. So what's that mean? The foundation of our business is your kids. 90% of our kids are Lawrence residents. 70% of them are Lawrence High School students. And equally important is about the relationship that we form with parents once we hire our kids. Most of you know we're there daily. We're there when we open, we're there most nights when we close. But we have a rapport with these kids. These kids doing some phenomenal things in our business. They run the business on their own for many hours of the day. They help us drive new business ideas. They help us drive our social media ideas and a lot of our promotional ideas. It comes from your kids. It's an extension of you. We're also doing a lot of other things in the district. 10 fundraisers have been run in the month of October and through November. Student Health Viewers, Operation Smile, Limbo. We have fundraisers planned for the 2 graduating classes, the juniors and the seniors, coming up in November. And it's all part of being in the Lawrence experience. And in the future, we have other things that we're excited about partnering with the school district on. If you can imagine Schools and Swirls as 2 characters, we're hoping to have an art contest where we have 2 of the 3 schools in the area compete with art teams to develop a persona and graphics around who Scoops and who Swirls and what do they look like, what do they sound like. And we're also hoping to engage with the Business Academy to do some work on social media and web development. Let some of your kids have some real hands-on experience in doing that work. So for us, being community business is more than just being there. It's out being there and leveraging your kids and leveraging the great district. Thank you.
Make sure that we have everything in check. Good evening, everybody. For those of you that I have not had an opportunity to meet, my name is Andrew Zuckerman, and I'm the Director of Instructional Services here for the district. Thank you very much to both the community members and also Dr. Edwards for kind of just giving that foundation for why we're here, and it is our students. During the back to school night, we, as Dr. Edwards said, that we asked for all the feedback from the participants back to school night. And Chris, I'm going to use your line. What do you love? What do you like? And what do you want to know more about? And she says it much more concisely than I did. And when handing out all those cards to everybody, it got to get it quick. So what this is something called a word. So the more frequently that something was mentioned during the back to school night comments, the larger the word is. So the trend that was most prevalent for 51 comments was academics. Second was either happy or positive comments. There were 48 either happy or positive comments about the schools, the programs, or the district as a whole. Really small up here, some of these places, there were 21 comments that had only one single comment. So 21 topics, that had one single comment. So this is just a snapshot of the feedback that we got from the back to school nights. What I'd like to do is just spend a few brief minutes just talking about some of the academic comments. Seems that falls right in my wheelhouse. A couple of the questions are real simple answers and that we want to be able to answer here tonight. One of them was that do we offer a course on social media? And this goes right to what was just being said to you. And absolutely. We have a course at Lawrence High School that's the Introduction to Social Media, where these students talk about not only the history of social media, but also the applications that it has within the business community. So that's a perfect segue to what we can do and partner together. We also hold digital responsibility seminars and workshops for our students. With the one-to-one initiative, it's our responsibility to make sure that they're entering into this safely. So not only, you'll notice I didn't say internet safety, because it's much more than that. They're going to use the internet, so we want to teach them about how to use these digital tools responsibly. Second, the students learn about the history of Lawrence Township, and that's absolutely. Our 4th grade social studies curriculum is certainly involves the local Lawrence Township. That also culminates with a trip into the community led by the town historian, Dennis Waters, which was originally funded by the Lawrence Township Education Foundation. Next, why do we not offer higher level computer courses? And the answer is that next year we will. We're in the process, we're planning right now to be able to offer AP Computer Science next year, as well as Java and Python courses here at Lawrence High School. We're also excited about that as well. So, Damien, I guess you can count that as kind of like kudos. So, how many students are taking AP courses? So in this, I have a little bit of information for you. Is that currently there are 550 individual classes being taken by students. Now, it doesn't mean 550 sections. It means 550 different courses are being taken by students. However, it's not obviously 550 students. Last year, for example, we had 161 students take 438 AP tests in 2016. Out of those 438 AP tests, 83.2% of them obtained a 3 or better on the AP test. So that's certainly a very noble accomplishment. From a special education perspective, Linda Mithog is here. She's our new Director of Student Services. Linda, along with her staff, are currently gathering information about the reorganization of the Special Education Advisory Council. And in alignment with our strategic plan, goal 1.1, the special education inclusion model will go through an ongoing audit and a program review starting in the spring of this year. So why do we share all this information with you? These comments, in addition, as I mentioned, the strategic plan, were kind of put together, and then they're obviously going hand in hand. The comments that we received during back to school night, as well as the information from strategic plan, the feedback that Crystal's gotten when she's gone out into the community, that's really led us to the 4 breakout sessions that we have today. Those breakout sessions are going to be on gifted students, world languages, the referendum, as well as after-school programs. But before I get to that, I want to kind of touch on a little bit more about the strategic plan. In our strategic plan, it's very purposely laid out that we're going to be auditing or having an intensive review on several programs. Currently, the programs that are currently under review are the Gifted and Talented program, English as a Second Language, our ESL program, and K-3 reading. In the spring and over the winter, we're going to be beginning, as I mentioned, the special education and inclusion programs. We're going to be beginning the world language program review, as well as moving into some other things as we go into next fall. So this evening, you're going to be discussing things, and all of that feedback is going to be taken back directly, and especially the world language and the GMT, that information is going to be used as part of our review. So we want to hear from you. In addition to this, we're going to be asking people to provide feedback through surveys and possibly even holding additional parent meetings. And we're going to be sending that information out back to you through quick news or other public communications. However, it's also important to note, while we've started this review now, it's not going to be finished. The 3 that we're currently starting, they're not going to be finished until the spring. So I don't want anybody to expect, okay, next week after the community conversation, we're going to have everything ready to go. It's going to take time for us to gather this information, and we will absolutely be communicating this out to you at not only board meetings, through quick news or a district website, as well as obviously at different meetings as well. All right, that's enough for me. So, as I mentioned, we have 4 breakout sessions, and the room locations are listed on the right. The first one is the world language, which is going to be located in room 313. The second is the gifted and talented, meeting the needs of our gifted students in room 313 and 317. The facilities referendum, and by the way, 313 and 317 are located directly out this door to the right. The facilities referendum and the after-school activities are going to be located in the music rooms in 401 and 403. So obviously our students are heading out. Before you go, please make sure you take a refreshment. We're going to be in those breakout sessions for approximately 40 to 45 minutes, and then we're going to be coming back here to culminate things right around 8:30. So we look forward to speaking with you during the vote, and if you did not get a folder, please make sure we have lots of folders left before you're dismissed for the breakout sessions. Please make sure that you get a folder if you don't have one. They do also include the door prize ticket. So that's very important. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Okay, first I'd like to call up Melissa Lockett, the principal of Lawrence Elementary School, to tell us what was discussed during the world language session.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so, and if you were in the world language session and you need to call out because I forgot something, please feel free. But basically, we talked about the current status of our world language program, K through 12. We reviewed what is currently being offered, and what's in transition, and some of our hopes for the future. The entire group agrees that world language keeps us more competitive in a global society, but also more connected in a global society. So we talked about the importance of world language as our children move into the workforce and into the world, but also how technology has made our world a little bit smaller, and how world languages can help us navigate personal relationships. We talked about having more actual instructors at the various levels. Currently there are technology programs in our youngest grades. We talked about having actual teachers, but we also talked about the struggle to find world language teachers, and we were encouraging the students who were in the room to take that course, that career path in the future, and then come back to Lawrence to teach. So we were offering jobs as well. In our secondary world language program, we talked about trying to provide more offerings of specific programs. We talked specifically, I think there was a need for more, as far as scheduling was concerned, more sections of, let's say, French 4, so that students can take the world language throughout their high school career, and the consistency of 4 years of one language, and how important that was. Yes, we invited, and we will invite the large group. If this is something that you're interested in, we will be auditing the world language program, and we are asking for your participation in that audit. So as we gather as a community, there will be times throughout the year that Dr. Dillon and Mrs. Hayes, who are the supervisors in charge, as well as Dr. Zuckerman, will reach out and have meetings with family members and community members to talk about your ideas and your solutions to some of the roadblocks to expanding the world language program. Am I forgetting anything? Anybody who was in the session? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Kristen Burke, who is our elementary STEM supervisor.
Good evening. I didn't formally introduce myself in the session or earlier, so my name, like Dr. Zuckerman said, is Kristen Burke. I've been in the district, this is my 12th year. I taught 2nd grade, I taught 3rd grade, and this is my 2nd year as the elementary science and math supervisor, so I'm very happy to be here. The session that I was in was meeting the needs of our gifted learners, and my partner, Amy, and I took some notes on the laptops, so I'm going to refer to the laptops to share out the big ideas that we took away. One of the ideas that we talked about, one of the questions that came up is, when a student is identified one year and possibly not identified the next year, how do we continue to support that child in the classroom setting? We also talked about how differentiated education doesn't always work for our bright students, and the ideas of clustering and tracking of students came up. We also mentioned the home to school connection. How can what is happening in school also be fostered at home with parents? So how can we better communicate to parents what is being done in school and really tighten that home to school connection? The PACE program that we used to have was very beneficial. That came up for gifted students to become comfortable with their learning style, and the peers enjoyed. Students liked working with each other, and it really helped with their academic confidence. And the idea, or the question of the psychological effects that students can have going in and out of a gifted program. So those were some of the big ideas that we came up with. We have them documented, and we will continue to look at them.
Okay. Mr. Cliff Williams, one of our assistant principals at high school.
Sorry, Andrew. Just had to take the mic. Well, we were in the room with Mr. Eldridge, and he took us through the referendum. He educated us on the referendum process. He talked about some of the major points and overviews. We talked about prioritizing the use of funds, long-range planning, cost containment, new revenue, and like I said, he educated us on the process of the referendum. The purpose of the referendum that we talked about was to improve the learning environment, improve the security of the learning environment. So those would be the purpose, that would be the two ideas behind the referendum. Some of the issues that came out behind this and why we pushed for a referendum would be hot classrooms, accessibility issues at several schools, and our phone systems being dated. Some of the highlights of things that I didn't know, but I think we should kind of report out as a public, to the public, is our school probably has one of the lowest debt ratios of any school probably in the surrounding area. So kudos to Tom and our financial department for putting that together. And with a referendum, there's a possibility of receiving state funds. The objective of today's session was to meet and kind of get a level of engagement of interest of who is the public interested in pursuing a referendum. And the possible projects are AC, lighting, light and safety systems, telephone PA systems, the boiler replacement, and I also said lighting. There were some other ideas that were also put out there, handicap accessibility, more than just schools, but the public access overall to the school, large space for students gathering. So some of the parents brought up that there were some issues if the weather's not, if it's inclement weather outside, we need spaces for our kids to intermingle and interact inside the school. So those were some of the major points of concerns. We had the public actually rate which one was the most important, and at this point, AC came up as the most important in the classrooms. So that's kind of where we are with our friends today.
Thank you very much, Cliff. Next, to bring up our athletic director and supervisor of health and physical education, Alison Fisher.
Thank you. Hi. So in our group, we talked about after-school activities between all the schools, ranging from our extracurriculars, our YWCA programs, and our athletic programs. And what we found was that there's a lot of people in our community that don't know all of the wonderful programs that we have. We organized ourselves into groups by age, so that in every group there was an elementary, an intermediate, middle, and a high school person. And through the process, we found out that there's a lot of programs that exist throughout the schools that people in other schools may not know about. So we spent a lot of time talking about all the positive things and all the awesome clubs that we do have in our district. We did come up with a few things that we would like to fine-tune and investigate more to help more of our students get these wonderful after-school experiences. The first thing that we focused on is that after students leave 6th grade, they don't have a YWCA program to go to. And the assumption is that all students in 7th grade are mature enough to go home if they are not involved in a sport or a club. And as a parent of a student in the district that is in 3rd grade, that does frighten me. So we did talk about other things and ways we could implement programs to help keep students engaged after school that may not be an athlete or may not be in the drama or are not involved in a club. We talked about somehow implementing athletic programs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grades as a precursor to the middle and high school athletic programs. We did talk also about the issue of transportation. We have wonderful clubs and wonderful sports, but we don't always have transportation home for all of them in all of our buildings. So looking at different ways that if we added transportation, maybe we would have even more students involved in our programs. There was a discussion about equity as well amongst our programs. What we see is that we have a lot of great programs in our different buildings, and there may not always be ties to them, and that continuing program from the elementary levels all the way to high school. So trying to come up with a little more equity and a continuum of offerings in all of our schools. And finally, we talked about finding ways for opportunities for special needs students throughout our district as well. So again, we spoke a lot about all the positive things and about how we can communicate that to the public so that everyone else is aware of all of the great offerings. And we'll have a few things that we'll move forward and trying to investigate further. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. As Dr. Edwards mentioned earlier, some of these conversations are just the beginning. As I mentioned with some of the program reviews and or audits, We're going to be sending out surveys. That's one way. We may have additional meetings for some of the groups as we talked about. So this is just the start of some of these conversations, and we will continue to report out on the progress of these audits as we're going throughout the year. Next, prizes. So congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you very much to Lana Mueller and Patricia Nelson for doing all the hard work, getting all that together. Before everybody leaves, we just sincerely want to thank all of you for spending the last couple of hours with us and to be able to share your opinions, because your opinions are truly what drives the district, and we want to make sure we're meeting the needs of the students, and that starts with you. So we truly thank that. As I said before, a number of our conversations are going to be continuing, so please look for more information. Thank you very much. Please get home safe, and we look forward to seeing you around soon.